Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And for this next movie review, for those wondering, it's been a while since I've worn a hat. I think I've worn a hat for quite a while, so why not just point it out? But like I said before, like I said for June, month of my birthday, even though it's already passed up, but I said I'd like to review, I'd like to review some films that I really do love and enjoy. So, for this next film that I'm going to be reviewing this is another childhood favorite that's especially for me and my brother. My brother and I always enjoy watching this movie growing up, and it'll probably be one of my brother's favorite films of all time. And for me, I'll probably be one of put a list of my favorite action films of all time, maybe. But I love this movie, and I think it's also very, very hugely underrated. And this film gets a whole lot of hate, which I still don't understand why. Why? Because people think it's probably dumb or it's dumb or no. But it's a film that stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, and what I'm reviewing is Last Action Hero. And still eating licorice here, but Last Action Hero released in 1993. I love this movie, and I think it's very, very underrated. And this film, like I said, me and my brother loved watching this growing up, and it's like I said, it's one of his favorite films of on his list of his favorite films of all time. He loves this movie, and I love this movie. And it's also me and my brother's one of our favorite films from Arnold Schwarzenegger we watched growing up. And I just like, I mean, we can just watch it and sit down and just watch it and not get bored of it, we just having so much fun watching. And love Arnold Schwarzenegger this, and I don't see why this one gets so much hate. And it's directed by John McTiernan, who directed Predator, Die Hard, The Hunt for Red October, the third Die Hard film, Basic. I forget if there was like a film he directed before Predator, but I forget though. But and then of course had his big miss when he directed the Rollerball remake, which was absolutely horrible. But I love Predator. I love The Hunt for Red October, and I love Die Hard. Die Hard 3 with a Vengeance is a great sequel. Basic, I think, with John Travolta and Samuel Jackson, I think I like the movie. But it's too bad that John McTiernan doesn't direct the film, because it's like Basic. It was supposed to be like his last film he did since back when was it 2003, I think it was. I don't know what happened to him though, but he did a great job directing the movie, and it's such a great writer. It's like especially when it's written by Shane Black, who's been like known to be a writer from like a bunch of other action movies, like especially the Lethal Weapon films, even starred in Predator as well. And Zach Penn, which I know this writer's from I know who the writer is, but I forgot what films he's written on. But let me see what we have. I was quickly what Zach Penn has. I know I've looked this guy up before, but I just forget what else he's written. Because I thought the script in this film was really great, because people think it's not that great because it's so dumb. People think, but I disagree with that. Yeah, he wrote on Men. He was uncredited co-writing on Men in Black. He wrote for X-Men 2, Suspect Zero, which I think is a good one as well. The 2005 Elektra, X-Men: The Last Stand, The Incredible Hulk, The Avengers. Even on the Ready Player One, Steven Spielberg's upcoming well, no, actually that's coming. Maybe it's 2018 film. It's just whatever. But yeah, that's Zach who Zach Penn is. Like, cause I can't remember he wrote on some of the Marvel films. But Shane Black, he's running like a lot of action films as well, especially the Lethal Weapon films. And yes, he directed Iron Man 3, which didn't like though. But I thought he did great with the Zach Penn did the story while Shane Black helped do the screenplay. But I think it's a good script though, because it's a film that that me and my brother thought I liked growing up, because it's a movie within a movie, and how it plays on the over top action cliches, and playing on the satire as well. Probably that's what people did not like about it though, but that's why the film didn't do that well box office wise. Like, had a big budget, and I can see that it definitely is a big budget film, especially for being an over the top action film. And like an $85 million budget, but domestically made $50 million, but worldwide $137. It was not the big hit that people wanted to be, or people didn't show up to see the movie because the film didn't do that well because it came out a week after Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park was rolling in the money. Because this film came out a week after the Jurassic Park's first release date, though, but it didn't do well because people are seeing Jurassic Park and making a ton of money, so people probably went to that to see that instead, or people thought that people just want to see this because because this came out after when Schwarzenegger did Terminator 2, which was 91. This came out in 93. Because Terminator 2 was a huge hit, and it was being hailed one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's best films ever. So people were looking forward to this whole he's being like this big action star in this film, and I guess some people saw it, didn't like it, and no one wanted to see it because they would rather see Jurassic Park instead. But and of course with the problems with it as well. But I love this movie, and I thought Arnold Schwarzenegger did a fantastic job, I would say. And this also starts with the child kid, Austin O'Brien, who plays Danny. Now, which he was in a film that I reviewed was Prehysteria, the film with the little miniature dinosaurs. I reviewed the three trilogy, I would say, yeah. The Prehysteria films, and Austin O'Brien was starring on the first one. He was all right in Prehysteria, and I thought he was okay in this though. But he's not the best child actor, and I didn't hate him in the movie though. But I don't think he was even to this day. I still think he was not the best though. But I didn't hate him at the same time. But the other cast members, like, got Charles Dance, which me and my brother absolutely loved Charles Dance in this film as Benedict, as the assassin with the changing glass eyes. And the other time, me and my brother, growing up, this is because Charles Dance's bad guy character. Me and my brother growing up, so he was probably like one of our favorite bad guys to watch growing up, because we enjoyed the character a lot, and Charles Dance I would say did a great job as playing as Benedict as well. It also stars Robert Prosky, and Anthony Quinn, Bridgette Wilson, F. Murray Abraham, Art Carney, which was his last film, and of course a lot of cameos. Which I really had fun seeing in the movie. A bunch of cameos. Which I'll get to. Tom Noonan. As his character named the Ripper. Like it opens up, with with the police chief played by Frank McRae. Because he's the police chief that's always yelling and screaming, which I always thought was just a hilarious character. Like there was like in one part of the scene where he's talking so fast, so much, screaming and shouting, like the steam literally coming out of his ears. I thought that was always me and my brother when we just laugh at a lot. But then you get Arnold Schwarzenegger as Jack Slayer. Always seems like a classic name in the action film, Jack Slayer. The classic, with the the red shirt outfit with the snakeskin boots and stuff, and the classic brown jacket, and the belt buckle as well. And then you got a cameo by singer Tina Turner, and then there's this don't let the there's one guy's like, don't want to let him pass, like, hey, you want to be a farmer? Here's a couple of acres. Kicks the guy and guys goes flying. And this is the thing. This is a bunch of over the top stuff on purpose because it's a satire, and I can tolerate because because especially for the 90s, if it came out like today, it would be literally dumb and over the top, and people won't like it. But back then, they wanted to try something because it's a movie within a movie. Let's be over the top, have all these cliches, all these over the top characters, all this over the top action. And I liked it. Even to this day, I would think it's a really great idea, Well, growing up, I didn't think about that though. But me and my brother probably didn't think about it, but now I can see why. And speaking of, there was another movie that played like this though, but except in a horror film. That's called The Final Girls, which I liked. It's like a play on a Last Action Hero, but instead of an action film, it's in a horror film, and I like that. I still need to get that on. I still need to get that though. But I saw it, and well, can't say a word, but I know I saw it on the computer. But people have ways watched it on computers, but I still need to get that though. Wait, because I don't want to pay like. Felt like the last time I saw it on DVD was like $20 because it was new. I'll wait for that thing to go down for price to go because I ain't paying like $20 for a film like that. I'll just wait for the price to go or buy it used. But Final Girls, yeah, it was like Last Action Hero, but it's a movie within a movie of a horror film. I guess they could still be used if you do it pretty well though. So, but yeah. And probably people think it was not that good because it was doing all this over the top stuff and cliches and stuff like. Is doing this over the top stuff and cliches on purpose. It's supposed to be funny on purpose. I don't know why people think it's like that dumb or gets hate on for that though. I just don't think it's not that bad. Not that bad of a movie in general to me, Even my brother would agree. We won't think it's not that bad of a movie at all, because we both love the movie. But he gets he shows that he's on the rooftop, and we have Tom Noonan as this her. I thought Tom Noonan, for the little role that he has, he only appears like from the beginning and towards the end of the film. For the little part that he has, I thought he did a good job as this character of the Reaper, with his axe, and he has his son hostage, and he tells him to get rid of all of his weapons. Like, he has all the stuff he's carrying on him. What at least to know there, like his son had like a grenade, but had like a knife, stabs him, but then he throws the axe, and he goes, Schwarzenegger slowly goes, boom, dodging it, shooting him, but then it cuts, the screen goes blurry. You have Austin O'Brien watch because he's watching the movie Jack Slayer 3, and his friend who's at the projection, played by Robert Prosky. And he tells him about that he's gonna get the new sequel, Jack Slayer 4, so you can come and see the sneak peek later on tonight. But because he knows he's been slacking off on school, so go to school and you'll be able to see it. And I thought it was another thing that I always enjoy, especially my brother. He finds this scene really enjoyable because he's always like a lot of times says the lines more than I do for this scene because He's in school, and you have a cameo appearance by Joanne Paulwright, from 101 Dalmatians, Dennis the Menace, her voice role in Dinosaur. She as this a school teacher who's showing the class Hamlet, the one that stars Laurence Olivier. But Danny, he imagines this Hamlet as if Arnold Schwarzenegger, if he was in a Hamlet, and for wondering, Subway for dinner. But and how he mentions how this Arnold Schwarzenegger plays this Hamlet is like, he has a skull, for Hamlet, and throws it at night, and he has a cigarette like, "Hey Claudius, you killed my father." Big mistake, and throws the guy. Or it's like, stay thy hand, fair prince. Who says I'm fair? He just gets machine guns and starts shooting knights. And then the narrator's like, "No one's gonna tell this sweet prince good night. To be or not to be. Not to be." I just love watching that scene. My brother probably enjoys that scene more than I do because he says the stuff like the lines like that more than I do though. But I was me and Magic like I would like to see that kind of type of Hamlet if Arnold Schwarzenegger plays this Hamlet and this kind of makes it like an action film. I would like to see that. So it's later in the getting towards in that later night where he's going to go see it though, but his mom has to work and says don't go out. But he's about to go out, but then he gets robbed by this guy, and the guy says, "You got junk. You got no TVs, no VCR, nothing, no jewelry, anything." But then he goes to the police station and gets released so he can go see it at the theater. And Robert Prosky's there waiting for him. And he tells him that he has this golden ticket that he was given by Houdini. And, he just, tears it up, of course. And he's ready to see this world premiere sneak peek of Jack Slayer 4. And I like how as the movie goes, how the open credits go. And then you have Carney as what was it? He played like Jack Slayer's like his favorite second cousin, I think it was. He's being tied up. He's being interrogated by Anthony Quinn, who's this Italian mob boss, and his right-hand man or henchman, Benedict, played by Charles Dance, with the changing glass eyes. For the first one, you see he has a bullseye, and he does shoot a picture with a bullseye. And I thought Charles Dance did a great job because growing up, me and my brother, he was our favorite, one of our favorite bad guys to watch on TV. And then as the film was going, Jack Slater goes to see his cousin Frank's house, and while two cops are there, as he goes in, he finds him. He walks in just before he dies, and he picks up like some cards, and as it counts down, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then he runs out. It's a bomb, and then the house explodes. The police car flips over, and then Danny goes is like, "Oh, Jack Slayer, he's fine. The two cops, they're dead." And I thought it was another funny scene, like. Of course, this is supposed to be a take on Lethal Weapon. Like, this is older guy who supposed to be like Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon. He's a cop, and he's like 2 days till retirement, and then you have that saxophone playing from Lethal Weapon. Of course, so Shane Black, as he wrote this film, but he wrote on the Lethal Weapon films, and I do believe that the music for the composer for this film by Michael Kamen, I do believe he's the same guy who did the Lethal Weapon. Score for the Lethal Weapon films. If so, there's a reason why. The music for the Lethal Weapon, the saxophone, dun, 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 as the older cop guys, it's supposed to take on Lethal Weapon, obviously. I mean, this is it's over the top. It's supposed to be on purpose, but yet at the same time, it works well and it's funny. I just don't see how this is. Like I said, I just don't see how. People think this is so bad. There's a lot of these days you get these over the top comedies and yeah, action. Yeah, sometimes over the top action, but and people call this it. People think this is probably better than Hashtag Serial. I don't know what people are saying though, but this did it back in the day. It played off for a satire really well. So then the more bad guys come in. You get that kick-ass song by AC/DC, Big Gun, which I'm a fan of the AC/DC. I always enjoy most of the songs, you know. Big gun, down, 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 down. Big gun, down, down, number one. I love that song by Big Gun. And of course, speaking of with Big Gun, this song was nominated for worst original song for the Razzies. Like, this film got negative reviews, like a 6.2 on IMDb, and has a 37% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I'm sorry, I completely disagree with wholeheartedly. I give this as much higher ratings. This one doesn't deserve those low ratings. And plus it was nominated for 6 Razzies, including, like I said, worst original song by AC/DC. I mean, Big Gun. Then worst actor, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Worst picture, worst director, worst screenplay, and worst actor, new star Dylan O'Brien. But it didn't win any, though. But I'm sorry, Razzies. I don't know what else. This film was not that bad. I keep on saying it's not that bad. Arnold Schwarzenegger was not horrible. The directing was not horrible. The song, Big Gun, was not horrible at all. Which although I would do say some people don't like Austin O'Brien as Danny, though, but I don't think he was not that horrible. I still think he's alright, though. He was not the best child actor, though, to be in it, but he was not that horrible. But I do understand people will say, oh, yeah, he does deserve a Razzie, but not to me, though. The Razzies, whatever. But yeah, they have a song playing, and he's getting chased by these more bad guys. There's shooting at him. As well, for one bad guy, he throws some dynamite, and Schwarzenegger shoots it, and the dynamite pops out of the screen and rolls towards Danny in the theater. And it's all because the ticket that he was given, because it was a ticket from Houdini, because it's magic, and it causes the dynamite to come out of the picture into the theater. And he sees it, and he runs towards the screen, and he whites out because it cuts to white, and then he's in the movie, and he wakes up in Schwarzenegger's car, Jack Slater's car, and I thought it was a really I had fun with this car chase. I always love this car chase. And at least he's saying Schwarzenegger saying more of these bad lines, which is on purpose because it's supposed to be an over-the-top action film on purpose. And he shoots the guy has a dynamite, flies into an ice cream truck that blows up, and another guy in the truck, he gets killed with a ice cream cone, gets jammed right into the back of his head, and he says, "Ice that guy," Konu phrase. And Danny's saying, "Wait a minute, the music, the bad puns, you know, the over the top, the explosions. I'm in the movie. I'm actually in the movie." And then as the chase goes on, he makes the car go off this bridge, and then it hops onto a truck, and then he starts to get to this one dead end part, and he's about to play chicken with the truck, and of course that truck chickens, and it flies, explodes for no reason into this building with these girls wearing these weird outfits. And then how this one guy that was in the truck, he's on fire, and he just slowly walks to the fountain to be drenched, as the girls, they run away in these fancy weird outfits. And then Dan knows the ticket was really magic, and he's like, Houdini was not faking. And he goes to this police station, and then you get cameo appearances by Sharon Stone playing her character from Basic Instinct, to light a cigarette. And then, of course, you got Robert Patrick playing the T-1000 from Terminator 2 as he walks out. And Dan's like, "Oh, Jack, did you see that?" I like the cameos. I don't think people maybe people might have some fun with the cameos of that though, but I love the cameos, especially in the outside world when they're playing as themselves. But I enjoyed the cameos. It was nice to see like the little cameos by those characters. And of course you got another cliche part, with buddy cops, because you know how buddy cop films are, how they get partnered up with a different type of person, like the scene where cops are getting paired up, like you have one cop being partnered up with a like a rabbi, or a heavy set cop being partnered up with one like a kind of like a clean freak cop, or one female cop getting paired up with a cartoon character, with named Whiskers, who's a cat cop, and he's voiced by Danny DeVito. Of course, with Danny DeVito who worked with Schwarzenegger with Twins and Junior. And while sorry, you hear the burp there, but as Schwarzenegger is being yelled at by Frank McRae, screaming at him, and Danny sees the cartoon cat. He's like, "It's a cartoon. I can prove this is a movie." And then Jack's like, "He's supposed to be back on duty. He was only suspended for a month." So he thinks that the cartoon cat in there is just normal. um, I like how just like how Schwarzenegger goes along with okay, I'll give you like about 15 minutes to prove that this is a movie. So he goes to a Blockbuster, of course, Blockbuster. If anyone remembers a Blockbuster anymore. But he goes to the Blockbuster to see, ask if there's any Schwarzenegger movies. Of course, there is no Schwarzenegger movies, but I thought it was a really funny yet fun to watch. Is like there's the cardboard promotional cardboards for films. Well, they had one for Terminator 2, and who's playing the Terminator 2 is not Schwarzenegger, but it's Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone playing the Terminator in Terminator 2. And he's like, "No, this ain't right." And then Jack's like, "What are you talking about? This was his best performance yet. He was great in this movie." I absolutely love that. If people don't like that, don't like the idea, I don't know what to think of though. Even yes, people have their opinions, but I don't see how people don't think that's funny. Stallone as the Terminator. All these little fun little things. People think this is not funny, or the script isn't funny. I mean, all these little fun picks they're putting in. It's supposed to be like, yeah, it's supposed to be over the top on purpose. It's supposed to be they're throwing all these cliches in on purpose, and it's a satire on purpose. I honestly see how people don't think it's not that it's a bad of an idea. I just don't get that. But and he says, I'll take you where the bad guys are. So he goes to Anthony Quinn's house, and he goes tells him that Jax tells him, "Here, why don't you take this badge, because you just solved an entire case, to which takes months of training to do, and all I had to do was to go to this house and point out the bad guys are in there." And then as he walks up to the doorstep, and he's like, "I'll be back. Hi, you think I was gonna do that, right?" And he says, "Yes, you just said it before." So then they talk with Charles Dance, and he has a thing like, "I snap my fingers." Has this thing with snapping his fingers, like he gets these trained dogs to go up, stack him to a pyramid. And then he overhears as they leave. Benedict overhears about what Danny's talking about, because he knows who he is, and he gets a little bit suspicious of that. So as they go to his house, where his daughter, played by Bridgette Wilson, goes and kisses Danny. Of course, Bridgette Wilson from Mortal Kombat. plays Sonya Blade. Um, but he goes out again, and Danny stays at the house, and he has a flashback to what happened at the ending of Jack Slayer 3 with Tom Newton, right? As they shot him, because that part got blurred out though, but it shows that he shot him, he falls off the roof, but he took his son with him, and his son died. Um, and then Charles Dance shows up with a gang of bad guys. He's like, "Hello, Toto," and he tells like Danny tells like, "Bendick, if you to Bridgette Wilson's like, if you harm a hair on her head, it's like stop," and it takes a hair and rips it apart. and then as she goes into the bedroom, she beats one guy up and gets screaming like just beats the crap out of him, and then uh, Schwarzenegger drops in and says hi, and then takes these two guns and shoots two guys to save them like this. Or there was another funny. I thought it was another funny scene because he was Charles Dance was about to throw a knife, but then Danny because he was sitting in a chair, he just takes the chair he was sitting, just rolls him back. I thought that for some reason I thought that was funny how he just takes the chair that he was sitting in and just pushes him back. For some reason I thought that was funny, but kills all the bad guys. Like he even gets shot, but he has wearing a bulletproof vest and says never leave home without one. So he goes and chases after Benedict, and even Danny goes out after him because he's wearing goes in a bicycle, and he think he can do the chicken thing, but he's like, oh shit, I'm a comedy sidekick, it's not gonna work. But then Benedict gets because he took Danny's wallet, and he has the magic ticket. And he looks at the magic ticket, and as he puts his hand on the wall, he goes through it. So he knows that he can go through because he knows it's in a movie, right? And he sees that he can go into the real world, And of course, you got the Twilight Zone music playing in the background, which I thought was a nice touch. And he gets another funny scene as they're back at the house. Danny wants him to say this one word. It's like, grow up. Come on, just say this one word. You can't, can you? Because this movie is rated PG-13. And then one guy finds that Benedict left a glass eye there, and it's got words on it, and he twists it, and then I thought Arnold Schwarzenegger's reaction was like hilarious. He's like, "Don't touch," and they cut outside. The whole place blows up. Of course, they're fine. Of course, they're fine, and they're back at the station as the chief is yelling at us like, and this steam is coming out of his ears, and Jack's like, "Did you catch all that?" And Danny's like, "I think someone missed English." And then Jack gets fired from the force, and he goes back to his apartment, I guess, and he shoots the claws, and he's like, and a dead guy crops in. He's like, Danny's like, "Geez, how'd you know there was a bad guy in there?" There's always a bad guy in there. And it has a closet full of the same clothes, the same boots, jacket, shirt, whatever. And then he tells him, how he's somehow is I keep getting into all these mischievous adventures and stuff like that. And then I guess he's slowly getting the concept that maybe he is in the movie. And then Danny tells him about there's this bomb at this funeral. There is a bomb at this funeral that Anthony Quinn, Charles Dance have put in to blow up this whole mafia. And he goes to Jack goes to his old partner, played by F. Murray Abraham. And of course he flips it that he's a bad guy, and it's like, Danny told me not to trust you because you killed Mozart. And he's like, "Mo, who?" "Zart." Of course, it's referencing that Abraham's his role in what was that movie where that was about Mozart? No, what was it? Amadeus? I forget what the name of it is, but that's the film what he won an Oscar for. That's the referencing. Is it Mozart? Mo who? Zart. I killed many people all the time. I can't remember whose name it is. And Danny has the gun on him. It's like, you made a classic movie mistake. Don't explain so much. Dumb. But then Anthony Quinn holds him and goes like, "You're not too bright yourself, too, kid." And then and the cartoon cat Whiskers shoots F. Murray Abrahams like, "Whiskers, where the hell have you been? Sorry, Jack, furball problems." I was like, "I owe you one." "Forget, you saved my neck plenty of times." So he's gonna go up to the roof where that's where the funeral is, as where Danny's supposed to operate this crane, and other than get to another point more where as he's at the funeral, he's looking at where the body is, and it's like he tries to do this little thing. It's like, did you hear this? Like, "Help me! Get me out of here!" He's supposed to play like the voice, like he gets closer to the body to make it seem like he's the voice, like, "Help me! Get me out of here!" It's like, my God, this man's not dead! It's like, "A doctor! I need a doctor here!" "I'm a doctor. You're a doctor? Check his chin." "Oh no, the doctor has fainted. Now someone can help this man here?" "Look, elephant!" Honestly, this is. I'm just having so much fun watching this movie. I don't understand how, like I said, I can repeat myself, but I'm saying I don't understand how this film was that bad. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm just having so much fun, with Arnold. Just having so much fun, and then he sees the crane. He's like, "Don't shoot!" And the dead body is on the crane, and it's like everybody at the funeral has, like, even it's like not only guys but women, or there's even a nun. Everyone or old lady they all have guns, revolvers, machine guns, whatever. Everyone there has a gun. They start shooting at Arnold. He gets into the elevator. There's a helicopter, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And then the helicopter starts shooting, kills more people, and goes straight through the building. The glass falls everywhere. And then, of course, they had to make references because John McTiernan directed it because of Predator. And it's like the helicopter has this red light. Like how the Predator had the what's the thing? The red mark. When he's about to shoot with his cannon. How I like how the first Predator, how with Bill Duke, with the light, the red lights on. I said before the Predator killed him. That helicopter has it had to be like a reference because the helicopter is doing the same thing on Schwarzenegger's head. I know that's a reference to Predator because they had to put that in because John McTiernan, he directed Predator, and they had to throw all these references in. So why not make a reference to Predator? People, they won't say it though, but I know that's a reference to Predator. I just know that's a reference to Predator because it has like the mark on his head, just like a Predator. And then the helicopter hits the crane, it flies off, explodes, crashes, and then he falls off the elevator, and there's like those little slow-mo, he's slowly hanging on to this one part as it breaks, and it's all in slow-mo. He's like slowly looking at it, lets it go, and he's about to fall, but he catches on to the hook, and he's telling Danny to drop him over where the tar pit's at, so that if the bomb explodes, it'll explode in the tar and won't make such a big explosion. So he just drops in the tar pits. As he gets out, to see the big. He's like silent but deadly. And he's able to get the tar stuff off them. And even Danny's like, "Is anyone if this is a little bit curious?" He's like, "Hey kid, you said this was a movie, remember?" And getting back with Benedict, he comes back and he knows he's had enough with Anthony Quinn, so he shoots him. And now he starts talking to we're the audience, like, what was it? What did the line say? If a villain was God, he would be me. It was something like that, though. I forgot what was the full line was, though. But then Jack goes to that big monster truck that his daughter had, and gives him a good punch. He's like, "This is for blow up my first second cousin Frank's house, and this is for That was for the second reason. Forget. And he's like, "This is for my daughter's black eye." And he throws in. And there was that Asian butler. I know I've seen that guy in other films before. The Asian butler though. So he throws him against him, and they both go through the wall because he had the ticket on him. So he's out in the real world now. And he's like, usually when they do that, he leaves a hole. So they go out. So they go into the real world. And I like how the atmosphere changed, because you know how in the movie it was like all big and bright, but like how in the real world it's like all dark and stuff. Well, it's nighttime of course, but the atmosphere changed, you know. And of course, as the movie was in L.A. because where Danny was from, he's in New York. So they get this chase scene and then where they take a taxi and he steals a car. Like he tries to punch through the window and his hand really hurts because it's not in the movie, because in the movie nothing hurts him, but he's in the real world, it hurts his hand. So they get in this car chase and they try to do the chicken thing, but like I said, in the movie, it's not in the movies though, which Danny tries to tell him. So he goes into that, he does the chicken, they both crash, and just that really hurt. But that other guy got killed and Benedict gets away. And then Schwarzenegger, Jack Slayer, he sees a billboard promoting for Jack Slayer 4, and he's like, "Do you know a place where I can sit down?" So they go back to the theater to talk with Robert Prosky and tells him that this is Jack Slayer from the movie, and he knows that the ticket worked, you know, and he wanted to use the ticket to go to other movies, like you said before, but and I like this had this moment where Jack, says, that he knows that he's a fictional character. It's like, oh, this is nice that you found out that your whole world, your whole life is fiction. That it makes you have nightmares where your son gets murdered. I was like, I'm sorry, I don't think it's all that exciting that I find out that my whole life has been a damn movie. So I like that a little more where he comes to realize that he's really a fictional character. So then they go back to his mom's, Danny's mom's play with his mom, and like in the morning where he's listening to all of this Mozart, Jack, because he's never heard Mozart before. He's listened to all this harmony music because in the movie he's been listening to all to this hard rock and roll stuff. And I like that how he doesn't know who Mozart is. But so. And now that or later during that night, where I forgot to mention with how after a Benedict he escaped, he's in the streets and he sees two muggers. They attack this homeless person. They take his shoes and he's like, take his shoes? Like they didn't get his money or wallet or anything. They just took his shoes. Or he kills one guy and he's like, hello, I just shot somebody and I did it on purpose. I said I killed somebody and I want to confess. And here's in the distance like guy say, hey, shut up out there. And he turns out he smiles. Like how he in the real world he can get away with murder. And then it cuts to him again. The next thing it cuts to him again where he used the ticket to get the Ripper from Jack Slayer 3, Tom Noonan, that he wants him to kill Arnold Schwarzenegger, who plays Jack Slayer. And then Danny and Jack, they figure out what they're gonna do. They're gonna kill Arnold Schwarzenegger. Although I do think this Benedict's plan is kind of iffy. I mean, I don't know how this plan was gonna work, because if you kill Jack Slayer, if you kill Arnold Schwarzenegger, it doesn't make Jack Slayer disappear. I don't see how Benedict's whole plan like that. I don't see how that's gonna work, because in a time travel movie you're supposed to go back in time to kill someone, otherwise that one person in the future will not exist no more. But I don't think it does not work this way in this one though. But I don't see how killing Arnold Schwarzenegger is gonna stop Jack Slayer. I don't think how that's gonna work. Because if you kill Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jack Slayer's still gonna be there. So yeah, that one that little nitpick right there of Benedict's plan of killing Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know how that's gonna work. So that'll probably be like that one nitpick I would say that doesn't make no sense. But regardless, so I'm still having fun with the movie. And, like you get where he goes to this premiere of Jack Slayer 4. You got all these cameos. You got Jean-Claude Van Damme. You got um MC Hammer in there. Like he's talking about the soundtrack for Jack Slayer 4. Um, you got Jim Belushi, of course, him working with Schwarzenegger in Red Heat, which I do enjoy. Like how he's talking about how his wife's like, oh, I'm not the biggest fan of movies, but my wife enjoys it. I'm just glad to be there to see it. Nice to see Jim Belushi's cameo, and you also cameo with Damian Wayans walking with Chevy Chase. And then of course with Arnold Schwarzenegger with of course his then wife, Maria Shriver. Back then it was his wife back then. And it was nice to see all these cameos in this film. I had fun seeing them. Jean-Claude Van Damme's like obviously how it feels like what about seeing Jack Slayer 4 is like, oh, I would not miss this for a second. And then of course I'm a big fan of Jean-Claude Van Damme, so it was nice to see him, and it was nice to see him. It was nice to see all these actors, in these cameos. So I had fun with it. And one of the least like how Jack Slayer is talking with Arnold Schwarzenegger, side by side, Schwarzenegger. But then Danny gets kidnapped by the Ripper. They go to the rooftop playing like on the ending for Jack Slayer 3, except it's raining. It's like, oh, and the Ripper, Tom Noonan's like, I think we played this kind of thing before, didn't we, Jack? But you know what? I'll make it different. I'll make it a bit different. So he goes and throws straightforwardly, just throws Danny off the roof, and he gets the axe and throws his cuts the wire and electrocutes Tom Noon's like, I'll be back. It's like, the hell you will. And then Danny's hanging on for life, hanging on for this thing, I forget what it is. But he manages to get back on there, and then Benedict is there, Charles Dance. How he does the typical cliche of bad guy telling the plan. So I might as well explain you my whole plan. You want Dracula? I'll fetch him. We'll have a nightmare with Freddy Krueger. Hell, I can even get King Kong. Have a surprise party for Adolf Hitler. Hannibal Lecter will do the catering. All I have to do is snap my fingers and then they'll be here. Because you see, Jack, here in this world, the bad guys can win. And then he was about to shoot, but he keep on shooting, and they didn't get nothing. It's like, gee, did you make a movie mistake? You forgot to reload the damn gun. And he's like, no, Jack, I just simply left one chamber empty. Then shoots Jack right here in the middle, and Danny jumps on Benedict, and then Jack gets his gun, and Ben tries to use the ticket, like, no, but it doesn't work. And he says, no sequel for you, and shoots him. He blows up. And then he's getting taken to the ambulance, and now the ticket, because it's still magic. It lands in front of this theater where it's premiering of The Seventh Seal, and Death comes out of the screen and is played by Ian McKellen, Sir Ian McKellen. He's playing Death, and he comes out of the movie, and you see it as he's walking through the streets, and like since he's Death, he can kill somebody instantly, like he does on this side here. He taps one guy who's a cop who's smoking, and you get the idea he's dying, but he killed him because the moment he touched him, he starts coughing, but you don't see him completely die though, but you know that he does kill him because he's you know. But the death follows him all the way to the theater because as Robert tells Robert Prosky to start the movie up, and he shows up. Um, sorry. Um, start talking. It's like he's not here for Jack, but maybe for you. Okay, when you're grandparent, I think that's what he said. But he's like, but he says one last thing. It's like, if I were you, I will be looking for the other half of the ticket. And it was nice to see Ian McKellen for the little role that he had as Death. So Danny gets the other half of the ticket, gives him the jacket as he touched it. Everything starts lighting up. The projections start going on their own. It's like, and Rob Prosky's like, "Hooray for Houdini!" You know. And they bring him back into the movie, and of course, since he's back in the movie, his gunshot is like a flesh wound, and then Jack Slayer tells off the Chiefs like, put a sock in it, you know, and you know what? You don't need to scream. So you don't need to stop shouting. And he's like, you know what? I'm the hero, so shut up. And then he winks at them because Danny and Prosky are watching, and he winks at them. He's like, you see, Hollywood is writing our lives, and this, and etc. etc. And Danny tells Prosky, it's like, you're right, Nick. So as they start walking off, and Jack Slayer, you know, he waves bye-bye to everybody, and they got AC/DC's Big Gun playing. I mean, what can I say about a Last Action Hero? Me and my brother, we can just watch this movie over and over because this is one of our favorite action films growing up, you know, and it's definitely one of his favorite films of all time. But I love this movie. I think it's damn underrated. I even said that it's damn underrated. I can say whatever I want because it's my review, but it's yet very criminally underrated. It's hugely underrated, very underrated, I would say. And I'm almost going for an hour. Well, why not? Because it's a film that deserves a lot of respect and love from people, you know. But I know if people have the right to their opinions, but if they don't like it, that's fine. But I completely disagree. I think it's a very fun, entertaining, and yet it's over the top on purpose action movie. It plays on the cliches. It plays on the over the top action stuff on purpose. A satire, and all the scenes that me and my brother would say, you know, we can watch this and we can enjoy every minute of it, like the action, the dialogue, and Arnold Schwarzenegger's performance alone. But Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think he did a fantastic job as Jack Slayer. Charles Dance, I think he played a great bad guy. In fact, like I said before, he was one of our favorite bad guys growing up in movies, you know, growing up watching. Charles Dance, I say, did a great job. Austin O'Brien. He was not horrible. I did not hate him. He was not that horrible, but he was there still. It's the same thing like in Pre-Hysteria. He was all right. So he was all right in this movie. Growing up, I didn't think so, but because I didn't know better back then. But nowadays, I can still say he was still all right. I did not hate him. And I do understand why he was nominated for a Razzie for Worst New Star. I do understand though, but the Razzies, you know, they always give out Razzies to like good films. Though most times they give out to the a lot of times they give out to some real bad ones, which does deserve though. But a lot of times they give out to the good films that I don't think doesn't deserve to be earned Razzies. I really don't. This film didn't deserve to earn any Razzies. John McTiernan, I think, did a great job directing. Shane Black, great job with the screenplay. Zach Penn on the story. Gotta give credit to those, because I thought it was a really good script, and I like the idea of being a movie within a movie. You know, if it's a movie within a movie, you'll be in the movie. You know, of course you do. Of course, you can only have that in your dreams, and that's okay. You know, because I'm sure a lot of people would dream to be in a movie. You know, a movie within a movie. I certainly do. You know, I'm not ashamed to admit that. I know probably a lot of people do. You know, being dreams of being in movies. You know, like this type of scenario. But this film didn't deserve to be ripped apart by critics. This film didn't deserve to do box office poorly. You know, wise. But it was nice to see it was nice to see the cameos. It was nice to see all the over the top action. I thought was handled well. The humor was handled well. Dialogue. Like I said, the only nitpick that I had was Benedict's plan in the real world to kill Arnold Schwarzenegger. That part didn't make any sense. That's the only nitpick I have for the film. Other than that, though, I had a ball with this movie. I had a lot of fun. I still say it's very underrated. And there's no features on this. I wish I could see features, like no commentary, no behind the scenes making of, nothing. Why is it so hard to get features? I have no idea for films like these. I have no idea. And of course, the reason why the film didn't do well because of Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park was making a ton of money. It took away all the money this film would have had. And I'm sorry. If people don't like the film, that's fine, but it's their opinions. But I think I just completely disagree. I had fun with this film. And speaking of well, actually, never mind. You know, you get that part where you thought something, but you immediately forget, and how irritating that is. Yeah. But my throat's getting more dry. I need to drink something more. And I better end it here because I'm getting close to an hour. But why not make a long review on a film that you absolutely love? And if you want to do a film that they really do love, why not make it a long review? You just go to show that's how you enjoy the movie. And plus, I rarely make reviews that's practically like an hour long, so hardly ever. But Last Action Hero, well, it's definitely one of my favorite Schwarzenegger films. I just love this movie. I just love this movie because this whole thing, like I said, besides Jurassic Park, we thought this was gonna be a great action film because this is what he did after he did Terminator 2. I thought, oh, Terminator 2 was a big hit. Maybe this is gonna be a big hit because it's a bunch of action and all this other stuff though. But apparently, no, we'll probably hardly anybody went to see it though, and the film performed horribly. So. But the film didn't deserve to flop. It didn't deserve. Well, domestically, it did. Didn't deserve it either way. But I love this movie, and I don't want to keep on going on for this because I'm sure probably don't want to take the time to watch an hour-long review though. But if they do, good. But if you have the time to sit down to watch this hour-long review, basically, good for you. But that's all I have to say. I'm sure I'm missing a lot of things, but like I said, I can't say everything that I think I know because I try to explain things the best I can. But I'm sure when by the time this review is done, after the aftermath, I'm sure, oh, I probably should have said this in this review. Oh well, but I forgot to say that though. No, that's probably another annoying thing though, but whatever. I try to explain everything that I can, problem-wise or other thing good-wise, though. But for now, I think I said everything that I can, though. But I'm ending it here. So that's my review for the underrated, fun, entertaining action movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Last Action Hero. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next movie review. and see you soon. Later.